Hey, hey,
What
hey,
up?
good
What's
evening,
good?
everybody. How y'all doing? Welcome to Conversations with Them Two, with Lady Des and my boy MJ. What's up, MJ?
How you doing, Lady Daz? Good to see you tonight.
I know you went missing in action today, but
Here
that's
we
all
go
right.
again. I know where I was. You know where I was. They don't know where I was.
But look, it's good to see you, man. It's good to see you. And listen, everybody, those of you who follow us on social media, y'all know who we have tonight. Our brother, our friend, is back with the Shenanigan Crew. Yes. And he's
Yes.
going to have conversation with us two, them two, Lady Des and MJ. We want to welcome this dynamic, multi-talented, multifaceted, uh, God creatures, God creature, to this platform. Maurice Lauchner. Yes.
You, what's
How
happening,
you
y'all?
doing, Maurice?
What's happening? What's going on?
What's
How y'all doing?
Good,
what's good?
good. Listen, everybody, I'm just going to read a little bit about Maurice. I'm going to get this right, all right?
Uh-oh.
Maurice Lauchner is recognized for his notable roles, such as his recurring character, Big Fella, on The Cosby Show. His professional portfolio encompasses featured roles in Tyler Perry's productions, including a Medea's Christmas and his rendition of the male vocal in the holiday classic Mary Did You Know? Listen, if y'all saw a Medea's Christmas. That phenomenal duet at the end with Alexis Jones. Unfortunately, MJ, she wasn't able to be on here tonight.
She's gonna show up. I'm
And
trusting and
Maurice
believing she's
Lochner,
gonna
listen,
show
y'all,
up.
Mary, did you know? Furthermore, Lochner has appeared in Aunt Bam's Place, both of which have been released on DVD. Listen, y'all, he is no stranger to the camera, no stranger to any audience or stage. Listen, Maurice, thank you so much for being with us on Conversations with Them Too, the Shenanigan Crew.
It's an honor. I mean, to be thought about and to be considered to just share this time with you all and just kick it, with the Shenanigans crew. um, I'm excited. You know what I mean? Because it's like when you've done this business for so long, sometimes you can be forgotten, and out of sight, out of mind. You know how that goes. But
Yeah,
I'm grateful to, be on television every day right now as we speak on BET Plus. I've done five of Tyler Perry's stage plays. Medea's Christmas was my first, and then Aunt Bam's Place was my second, and The Have and the Have Nots was my third, and Madea on the Run was my fourth, and Madea Gets a Job was my fourth, and Madea on the Run was my fifth. Yeah, so I just had some great experiences, some great times, great relationships being on stage with some amazing people. So yeah, but I'm here to talk with y'all. I'm open to talk about any and everything, pretty much. You know what I'm saying? I gotta shake my head when I say that because
listen,
some questions I don't want people to ask me because they don't want to hear the truth.
but look, listen, you remember how our last conversation went,
Oh yeah,
and
oh
that was
yeah,
all impromptu, all
yeah,
impromptu. So,
yeah.
everyone who's listening and tuned in, if you have any questions, listen, put them in the chat. Maurice is open to answer questions. If you have any comments, and I don't know if MJ, are you able to see the comments and questions as they come in?
I am going over there right now. So yeah, I'll be able to see the comments as they come in. Yes.
Okay, awesome.
Perfect.
So we'll be able to read out your comments, or even if you have a question for Maurice, we'll read those out, and we'll take it from here. We'll
Yeah,
go from there and just have up close, candid conversation. Listen, he's a great guy. Maurice, it's been over what, almost 2 years now. And I want
yeah,
to give a shout out to Lady Tresenda because Lady Tresenda is the reason Maurice and I connected, and since that connection, we just stayed in contact with each other. And
Yeah.
I just want to give a shout out to Lady Tristinda, yes, because I know she's probably watching. So shout out to Lady Tristinda, and thank you so very much. All right, MJ, it's on you, buddy.
Wow, we're gonna do that like that. All right. So my first question, Maurice, is
Okay.
when did the acting bug first hit you? Do you remember what your first role was?
Yes. Um, it was on this soap opera called Ryan's Hope. It was on ABC, and it was really, really a God sent. You know, I wasn't even looking for it really. I mean, you know, being in the School of the Arts, the Fame School, which is in New York City, Music and Art High School. Um, the schools combined together, Music and Art, Performing Arts, which formed School of the Arts. Um, I went to school, and one of my very good friends is Tashina Arnold. And y'all know her as Pam on Martin. You know her as
Right.
Rochelle on Everybody Hates Chris. Um, so she's like my little sister, and we grew up together. And what happened was there was a writer's strike that happened. She They gave the actors liberty to kind of create, and so she was, people knew her as a singer as well as an actress, and she says, "Well, how about we write um, that I'm in a glee club in school. I'm going to call some of my friends who I sing with and invite them to come on the show." One of her most favorite singers that she admires and sort of sounds like is Gladys Knight. So we did Midnight Train to Georgia, and they called us in, and we came in and we filmed. And so I'm at ABC, and I'm sitting there like, oh man, this is my first opportunity, and to be in front of the camera in that regard, where the whole world is seeing this.
Wow.
And so I was that chubby guy that everybody liked, and they were like, "Hey, you know what?" After the first show, they said, "How about we write Maurice in as your best friend?" So what was supposed to be just two shows turned into 13 episodes,
Wow.
and I was it's just excited about it because that was when I got the bug. I was like, "Yo, I can do this. I can definitely do this." And it had plenty of other opportunities open up on As the World Turns. I was on there singing. Um,
Wait. You talking about the soap opera as the world turns?
yeah,
What year was that?
yeah. I did an episode, one episode on As the World Turns. I did an episode on what is that? What was that crime show? America's Most Wanted. I think that was it. Yeah,
Maurice, you ain't never tell me that.
yeah. I
Wait a
did.
minute.
I did one episode on Law and Order. Um, I did a couple of movies. Had the opportunity to work with Bruce Willis, Morgan Freeman.
Awesome.
And that was back. That was way when I first started. So with that, after I got the bug with Ryan's Hope, man, it was like, okay, I said, listen, I need a manager, someone that can just send me out there. And because I'm not like the normal, because when you're big, when you're heavy and big and tall, you know, the most of the roster is like, the guys who can go out and just get the McDonald commercials, the Burger King commercials, the Sprite commercials. If I went out for a Sprite commercial, it would have to be for a football commercial or something like that. So I wasn't considered just the average guy to go out there. So she said, I don't have any big black guys on my roster. So it was like, yo, Maurice, that'll be great. So I joined up. I signed up with Tashina Arnold, my boy Victor Cook, um, and it was Gina, Victor, and Tashina, and I can't remember the other guy's name right now, but we were all signed up to the same management, and then she started sending me out, and I was booking some things, and some of the stuff I didn't get, But that's the nature of the business. You don't you'll book some things and they will be great, and there's some things you just won't book, and you just got to keep going. You know what I'm saying? Because what's for you is for you. But you got to keep going. If you go to two or three callbacks and you're right there. I was almost in the movie Lean on Me.
Okay, how did you almost get into a movie, Maurice?
And
Because
listen,
I had
and what
I had
role you
three I
almost
had
got?
three I had three callbacks, man. Three. They kept calling me back. They kept calling me back, and they kept calling me back. And I eventually, of course, that I found out I didn't get the job, but I had three callbacks. So if you have three, the next thing is to book you. But
Right.
I didn't get it. And so it was the part, and when I saw the part that I was auditioning for, and I seen the guy who did it, he was much smaller than me. You know what I mean? It was did y'all remember Lean on Me, right?
Yeah.
So you remember the little drug dealer who was in the school selling drugs,
Mhm.
and he got kicked out of school. Well, that was the scene
And
that
he
I was
went home
auditioning.
crying.
No, I don't think he went home crying. He probably went outside and just started selling drugs because he was selling drugs to people in the school. But I never forget it. I auditioned with Mario Van Peebles and his father. They both auditioned me three times, but I didn't book it. But it's been a really really wonderful experience. Being in the business for over 30 years and having television credits, having reoccurring roles on major networks. And so it's like you look at that back then and fast forward to what you're doing now, and you're still in the game. It's like it's a blessing. And you do what you need to do to take care of your family, take care of your household, and yourself, of course. But I would tell anybody who aspires to be in the business, don't assume everything. Don't assume anything when you see people. Don't
Right.
assume stuff when you see me. You know what I'm saying? Because we're out here working, some of us, some people have really, you know, prosperous situations where they don't have to go get a regular job or 9 to 5 or whatever have you. But there are a lot of people who are now very, very wealthy, who've had to work as waiters and waitresses and temp jobs and things like that until they got their big contracts that would sustain them. You know what I'm saying? But I'm still in the game. I'm still in the game. So
That's
I got
awesome.
So
that bug a
speak.
long time ago, brother.
So, was there any aspiration, or did you have any idea before those big roles came, or before those roles came, that this was what you were going to be doing? Because a lot of times when we're in school, from elementary to middle school, those are aspirations. Oh, I want to be famous. Did that bug hit you then, or was that something you always aspired to do?
um, yeah, I mean, well, I started out singing first, so I always knew that I wanted to sing, at a professional level. The acting was that extra added bonus. It came, from just having friends and people who were connected and people who would mention your name in the room. You know what I'm saying? So that, I didn't really think about the acting part of it, but I knew that I would be singing somewhere professionally.
You know
Okay.
what, MJ? It seems like the fame is naturally on my Mauricio. It's sometimes we don't think what we are, but it's just automatically naturally there because he's such a phenomenal singer. Like, did you sing throughout school all the time?
Well, yeah, our school, we had to audition to get into music and art high school. So it was a specialized school. And then, I'll tell y'all a funny story. I started out in middle school. Nobody really knew that I could sing, only, in church and stuff like that. But I was in the band and I was playing the trumpet. So I went to performing arts, and my sight reading was, it was, eh. like that. So it's like playing the trumpet. So I didn't get into performing arts for the trumpet. And so my band teacher, who was like, because I was getting really, really good at the trumpet, but then I started getting that blister on my lip, and I was like, I don't want to do this, right?
Turkey.
So I also auditioned for music and art. So I went in and I sang, and I made it to music and art. And so they had in our middle school, there would be a list of high schools where all the kids were going, and my name was the only one for music and art, right? So he tracked me down. I mean, he was excited. He was like, "Oh my God!" He was like, "Maurice, you made it into music and art. Do you know that's a specialized high school?" I was like, "Yeah." He said, "Man, you're gonna be one of the baddest trumpet players out there." I said, "I didn't make it for the trumpet." What you mean? I said, "I made it for singing. I'm going in as a vocal major." He was like, "You sing?" I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "What?" He said, "Man, how come I never heard you sing nothing? I never heard you sing anything. I can hear you. I couldn't even hear you speak above a whisper." I was like, so he was just like tripping out. And
So did
so
he make you sing?
I I don't even no, I don't remember him even asking me to sing. I think I did sing for him. I think I did. But he was like, "Man, I think it was, yeah, like after class or something, I sang a little bit." And he was like, well, he said, "Dang, man, you really can sing." So he was just tripping out because he really thought I was going in for the trumpet. And I was like, "Nah, I'm not about to have that ring around my mouth." And all that. Was like, I mean, you know, to God bless all of the famous trumpet players and everything, but I was like, "Nah, I'm cool with that." But yeah, so it was very, very, very funny that, nobody knew in
Wow.
schools. Nobody really knew. And then on the list of schools, and they had specialized high schools like art and designs, and they had kids who were going there to be artists and things like that. And my name was up there, and he was like, everybody was like, "Maurice Lauchner, yeah," like, because they knew I was in the band, so they probably assumed that I was going to play the trumpet, but I was going for vocal major. Yeah, so it was really, really a great experience in high school because they train you for the business.
Awesome.
Okay.
So you have Seth Gilliam, who was an officer and a gentleman. He came from out of our school. Tashina Arnold came from out of our school. The Wayne brothers came from out of our school. Um, Carl Payne, Cockroach, they all came from out of our school. DeAndre came from out of our school. Lisa Arundel, who was in Tyler Perry's movie "I Can Do Bad All by Myself." She came from out of our school. What's the girl from Friends? Um,
Which one?
Anderson. Um,
DJ?
I don't
what?
do from.
What?
Yep, I
Okay, okay,
didn't.
okay. Jennifer Anderson.
Okay,
Okay.
gotcha.
She came from out of our school. There are so many artists that are out here right now who came from out of School of the Performing Arts, and so they along with academics, they also trained us in what our vocal major was. So we were classically trained. We sang in different languages. We had one of the baddest high school gospel choirs in the tri-state area. We had to stop competing because we were that's what we did. So it wouldn't be fair to all the other kids, who could sing, but they were not trained like us, and so we would do other things. And so they were like, "Nah, you guys you're not gonna be in the competition anymore. You're gonna be invited as guests." Like,
Wow. Wow.
it,
That's
it,
awesome though.
yeah, so we had a lot. I mean, Slick Rick and Dana Dane, all of them. I've heard their songs before they were recorded in the lunchroom.
Wow.
Oh
That is
wow,
crazy.
Yeah, MC
So,
Search, all those guys. You mean the white guy that came out with the glasses and he started rapping? MC Search. He was in our. His name is Michael. He was in our school, and our lunchroom would be like a musical.
wow.
It would be like that. We had dancers, everything. We had dancers, actors, artists. singers, and musicians. So all of that was going on in the school. Yeah. So
MJ, we have some people in the chat. I have, listen, Maurice, this is one of South Florida's renowned poets that is on. And she said, I remember seeing him on Law and Order.
oh really?
Yes. Wow.
My
Harris
part was
Clinton said hello, and we have Jeffrey Brown, and he's just basically saying good evening to all. So,
it was
hello,
it's
everyone. If you're just joining, we are here with Maurice Lauchner. Many of you may know him. What you
No,
gonna
no, go
say?
ahead.
Oh,
Go ahead. Because I was about to start
you may
naming.
recognize him from Tyler Perry of Medea's Christmas. He is that male vocal on Mary Did You Know. So he did so many other phenomenal things. And you know what? I forgot to mention you have a few Tubi movies too.
yeah. Well, it I did a I did a Tubi movie with Darren DeWitt Henson, who's on the Family Business.
Yeah.
And so it was on Tubi for a year, and now he has it on his website where people can download it and watch it for I think like $3 or something like that. So if you want to see that, you have to go to I am Darren Henson on Insta no the website his website and download the movie. It was really really good. It's about four brothers, and I'm the oldest brother, and our parents both have passed away, and all of the weight of the business that my parents had and me trying to hold everything together, that's my part. So I had the lead part in that, and it was just really, it was a challenge at first because it was just so much to learn. But once you become the character, you don't really have to worry about acting.
Mm.
It's not. It becomes a natural response that you would have, when you become that character and you embody who that person was and what the assignment was, what his backstory is, his inward emotions and things that he was dealing with losing both of his parents, but now having to take care of his brothers and have a fiance who's almost out the door because I have to choose between her and them.
Maurice, how do you dissect the role and become that character? How does, I mean, you've been doing this for a while. So, what's a tip for one to learn to do that?
Just like I just said, become, read, see, read, have, create your backstory, right? Because once you create your backstory, you create your foundation on where you come from. Where your family, blue collar, white collar, middle class, low middle class. Nowhere where you the only one that went to college. Did you drop out of school? Did you, how far did your parents go? And with their education, was your dad abusive? Was your dad a great dad? So you can create your backstory to build um in that character so that you become the character, and then you think of what your backstory is. So that's how you respond. As you read the dialogue that was written, you bring it to life by bringing that character to life.
Okay.
So it's important to always create your backstory. Know where you come from. Know your environment. Know what your family is about. Know what your mother and your father were about. You know what I'm saying? Because 9 times out of 10, naturally, if you go outside, um, and you say, hey, I don't say or do this type of stuff because my mom would have said, "Are you crazy? Like you don't talk like that." You know what I
Right.
mean? So we always have some type of guideline of morality when we go outside because of how we were raised, what we were taught. You know what I mean? So in becoming the character, that back line, that that place from where you come from helps you to create that character and become that character, and make it so natural, that no one would believe. It's like, whoa, oh,
You know what? That's good. That's good.
Yeah,
Maurice, not only are you trained in acting, you also are a vocal coach as well. And from what you've been telling us, you have had experience and extensive training throughout your youth, starting young on television. Is all of that what inspired you to become a vocal coach? And you just gave some acting tips, so I'm assuming you do a little acting coaching as well.
I don't. And the funny thing is, y'all, keeping it 100, I've never really officially had an acting class.
What?
What?
I've had sessions where I've, sat with some people who were acting coaches. I've had a session. I was just talking to someone that I wanted to get to coach me, because there's certain things that we can do naturally, but then there's certain things that you really need to know more about. You know what I'm saying? And I watch myself, and I judge myself on certain things. It's like I could have did that. I could have said that differently. But um I surround myself around people who are way better than me, in my opinion. They're like, they just way better than me. And so I watch and I learn, and I see how their timing is, how they deliver lines, because they are that character. You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
um I've never been in a classroom setting to know the the technical parts of acting. What everybody's been saying is what God has given me, and what I do, and what I've learned from watching others.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? And this and the crazy part is too, um, where I with my students and people who I've coached, my coaching business, it came from disappointment of the business. A lot of things can be birthed where we think that they were so horrific and so um, just trifling, in my book, in my vernacular. I thought it was trifling how everything happened with this tour that I was supposed to go on, or actually we were supposed to continue, because we did one leg of the tour, and then you get a phone call at 7 o'clock in the morning, and they call you and say, don't go to the airport at 11,
Wow.
because the tour has been canceled.
Wow.
Maurice, how does that, with you also being a man of God and also being human, how does that uh, tug on your faith? Because I mean, me and my flesh, my first thought is, okay, you're gonna get mad.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I,
Deal with
I
that.
was, I
You get
was,
mad.
I was, I want to say not angry. I was disturbed,
Okay,
not angry, because I'm gonna tell you what happened. God's grace is just fantastic. The day before I got that phone call, um, I got a blessing that was just out of the blue, and my son was handed an envelope to give to me, and I opened the envelope when I got home. I really, I didn't pay it any mind, really. You know what I mean? I opened it when I got home, went all the way home, and then there was a check in there for $1,000. Right?
that's a reason not to be mad.
No, no, no. Check this out. So I'm like, this happened the day before I got a phone call. Now,
Right.
if I would have done the tour, I would have made close to $20,000. So when the production called me, they were like, "Hey, first a friend of mine called me. He says, 'Hey, Maurice, what's going on, man?' I said, 'What's up, man?' I said, 'Cause you calling me like it's like 6:30 in the morning.' He said, 'Everything okay? 'Cause my sister just got her tickets refunded for Fayetteville.' I was like, 'What?' I hang up the phone. I said, 'I don't know what's going on.' I said, 'But yeah, that's strange.' I said, 'I'm gonna call you back.' As soon as I hang up the phone rings. That's when we get the other phone call from the production. Don't go to the airport. the tour's been canceled. Then I get another phone call from the assistant to the director. Hey Maurice, I'm sure that you heard by now. The tour has been canceled. There was some fraudulent stuff going on with the tickets and yada 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 yada. And I said, you know what? I give God praise, man. I said because obviously there's something else that He's doing. Not knowing that for the next 3 months that I would be struggling financially. And see, these are the things that people don't know on the outside looking in. Where people would say, hey, you know what? I got this television show. I got this going on. I got this going on. I'm doing too much. I don't have to work this hard. I'm just not going on tour.
Hmm.
Meanwhile, 15 people out of work, no no phone calls saying, hey guys, I know you guys are looking to make this amount of money. I know you guys got families. I know you guys got rent. I know you guys got mortgages. Here's a portion of what you would have made. Maybe not the whole thing, but here's a portion. Maybe we'll give you half. Nothing. Nobody heard a single word for, what was it, September? We were supposed to go out. October, November, December, January, February, March is when we got another call to go and ask if we were available to do a concert in the Bahamas for the what's this guy's name? Joyner.
Mhm.
Tom Joyner.
Tom
Okay.
Tom
Joyner.
Joyner morning show, their cruise that they do every year. So we were asked to come and be a part of the concert that they had on the island. Before that, we heard nothing. Now there were holidays, there were Thanksgiving, Christmas, three of my kids, my birthday and two of my kids' birthdays, that I had no money.
Mhm.
You understand what I'm saying? Because I was expecting to have worked.
Absolutely.
People rearranged their schedules and everything,
Yes.
and people,
That was going to be one of my questions. When you all have to go on tour for so long, what do you have in place? Do you, because I know some of you still work, or I mean, or how was that work scheduling like? And,
yeah.
and just setting your house or your family in order to be gone for a lengthy period of time.
Well, the way these tours were, we would leave Wednesday and come back home on Mondays. So we would come home, we'd be home Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Monday through Thursday, fly out Thursday, and then do Friday, Saturday, and Sunday through the weekend. But I believe we used to do Thursday too. So we might have left. We were home Monday, Tuesday, and then we would fly out on Wednesday, travel day. But, people would put aside any gigs that they had and be committed to the tour.
Hmm.
So
So,
people
Maurice,
have done that. Mm-hmm.
can I ask you when things like that happen, like tours get canceled and the opportunity then rolls back around, say with that producer, director, or whatever that calls you, and they call you back. Now, is there a bitter taste to sign up again, or is there hesitation, especially when it doesn't end in a good fashion, if that makes
There,
sense?
there's always a chance that you have to take when you're in this business.
Okay.
You know, and again, if you're not getting the phone call to say no, and there's a way that you can make money, you know, you'll either negotiate yourself to where it's like, okay, you know what, I'm satisfied with this negotiation because this is what I'm going to make every month or every week. And then you go and you do it again because even though you've been hurt, and it's really crazy because you're hurt, but then it's like, okay, now we're negotiating again because my last negotiation, my wife hung up the phone 3 times.
Hmm.
She was like, listen, you know, y'all, why do we have to keep negotiating? You already know what he does, you know, and And it's this business, and I tell people, it's the business is crazy because you have thousands and thousands of singers, thousands of artists, people who want to work with people that they've never worked with before, people who they idolize, people who they look up to, and they just like, oh, if I can work with this person, I just want to work with this person. So, and not really knowing the real interior of, like, how these things operate sometimes. It's like,
Right,
so,
right.
but yeah, we would go back and you would see some of us, and some of y'all, I mean, some of y'all seen us in these Tyler Perry plays and stuff like that, the Madea plays, and you'll see us reoccurring. We keep coming back, we keep coming back, we keep coming back, right? But then after you get shagged, like tours being canceled, no explanation, they give you some story, and then it's like boom, then you got to fend for yourself for 3 months. Nobody's people like, and this is what I said, and I can say what I said. I said I fell back on bricks. I said where someone as wealthy as TP could fall back on a whole lot of money
Right.
and not be hurt by it. But then
But then,
you have talented people who are fathers, who are mothers, who are single and just trying to take care of themselves and pay their rent and stuff like that. And for us to have to deal with the unfaithfulness and the commitment because a person feels like, yo, they're working too hard, and then we have to go out there and fend for ourselves because we don't hear anything, from nobody. I just think that character wise, that's horrible, because who would treat people that are just as much important in those production as the headliner? Because we all make the show. It's not just one person.
Absolutely.
right.
We all make the
Absolutely.
show. You know what I'm saying? Can we be replaced? Absolutely. There's like I said, there are a lot of singers out there that will go out there and sing their heads off. But I always say this: you will move on to the next group of people. If you don't plan on changing your method, you'll change the personnel.
Mm.
And it's as
Okay.
simple as
That's
that.
fact. That
As
is
simple as
definitely
that.
fact.
Because but that's how fine-tuned vocal coaching business, I mean, was birthed. Because I asked God that night, that day, and I was like, God, I said, I need an answer, because it's like, yo, the rug was just pulled up underneath my feet. I can't pay this person. I'm renting a house. I can't pay this rent, and this person is coming will come here every month. So what I had to do, and this is, and I, I'm on the show. I keep it 100, y'all, because I can't. The only person to get mad for you telling the truth is the person that offended you.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only person to get mad. So I'm not afraid to tell the truth. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I had to sell. We had a ministry before we came to North Carolina. I sold all of the equipment to save my integrity and my name to this person who was my landlord. I sold drum sets, I sold sound equipments, I sold amplifiers, everything. But yet we could see people smiling and grinning on the cover of Essence magazine, and people who were supposed to be hired in your production is selling their equipment in order to keep their integrity intact.
Listen, let me just stop you right there because this is where we kind of want to channel into because of who you are, and I'm glad that you're hitting this topic because a lot of times when you're in these plays or you're on television or you're just a public figure, whether it's locally, nationally, or however, people just assume. And you said that at the beginning. Don't assume because of what you see or how you see us or however. They just
Yeah,
assume that you got a whole lot of money, you got it all together.
yeah,
Um, you living the best life. You living
yeah,
the best right. And it's not always that. Let's pause for just a second because we do have some comments. We have some people that's just chiming in. Sunsa Ray, thank you so much for joining. She said, hello, Maurice Lauchner,
Hey,
blessings. And Rebecca Butterfly Vaughn, that's the poet. She's just agreeing with everything you're saying. She says it's an icky sticky, and she says per ready right. You have to take the bitter with the sweet when you just kind of make those choices and taking those risks. But
So, Maurice, I'm guessing that's where your faith and family, where you really have to rely on those two. When like you said, we're looking from the outside looking in, and we see
right,
on TV, and we see you going from city to city.
yeah,
So we assume that everything is just fine. When things like
and
that
they're
happen,
making their money, and they're making their
right?
money where these things don't have to happen. But not knowing when things get canceled, um, things just stop moving. Now, what am I going to do in order to save my house, my family,
yeah,
my livelihood,
yeah,
basically?
yeah,
So, I feel my reason that because I'm like, what happens in those gaps like that? Because after you have already prepared yourself for a certain period of time, and now that's not going to happen, or in the midst of it, it get canceled, and then the money that you thought was going to come in ain't coming in no more. Then what you
right,
do? So he's saying, in order to save his integrity, he out here selling out stuff. This is what Maurice Lochner. Are
yeah,
you are you serious? This happened. So okay, go ahead, Maurice. Just finish up.
yeah, yeah.
Sorry. I
So
just wanted to
yeah.
let you know that we had some comments coming in.
Oh, that's cool. Because I believe people need to hear, Maurice's truth. You know what I'm saying? Because it's mine. It's my
Absolutely.
experience. And those, and that was some years ago. That was some years ago. Um, but yeah, I sold equipment. I was able to give the person who owned the house rent. You know, and they were like, "Well, dang, I had a nice. Oh, I mean, I had really good equipment." And and the man who owned the house is like, "Well, why didn't you tell me?" You know, because I would have brought the drums from you for my son. I was like, you know, but that it was in those moments when I was like, God, what what I need you to talk to me because I need to know what to do because I can't see what I'm going to be doing for the next 3 months when I was supposed to be working.
Right.
What to do now to sustain? And he says, use what you have.
Mm.
He says, I've given you a gift. He says, share your gift with someone else. And that's how fine tuned vocal coaching was birthed. But I thought what I thought was just a terrible disappointment. It became a business for me.
Absolutely.
So I've been doing it for the last 7 years,
That's awesome, Maurice.
you know, and so you have to have multiple streams of income.
A-
Eh, You have
Absolutely.
you have to, especially being in the business that we're in as entertainers and artists, radio personality, you know, other streams of income and investments, different places. Because like when people see me, unless I tell you my story, I don't ever look like I ain't got it. I always look like I got it. And I do have it
Absolutely.
because I got Jesus.
Yep.
That's
You know what
right.
I'm saying?
Absolutely.
I do have it.
Absolutely.
I'm not downtrodden and torn to pieces. You know what I'm saying? I do have it. I like to say that my money's in circulation.
Sound
Listen, and it should be because your money should always flow. So it should
Holy flow.
always be circulating.
Yeah. And so, for me to tell these stories, it gives people the Maurice that they see. So
Right.
when I'm posting, or when I'm on the bus driving the school bus, if I'm in the airport going to my next gig, when I worked at Amazon, what I'm saying, for 9 months, I lost 40 pounds working with them jokers. But I told somebody, I said, if I stay here any longer, y'all gonna see me walking around town with a walker with the tennis balls underneath that joint because yo, my body was getting torn up. I was doing deliveries, and I was like, yo, and I said, who in the world orders cat litter to come to the third floor?
Mhm.
Dog food that's 40 pounds, and I'm like, hey,
Yeah.
nah. I said, Lord, I said, Lord, I've been humble enough on this one. I said, I got to throw in the
That's
towel.
it.
I was like, yo,
Listen, did y'all see the Amazon driver who got caught driving on the sidewalk? And he
that
was
guy,
Yes.
that was crazy. He was like, I don't care. They can let me go because they want their packages within hours, 24 hours, and this is the best way to go. He got on that sidewalk. He was pushing it.
boogieing, but yeah, but the thing is that humility, and I used to go live a lot because I wanted to just kind of say to other people who were in my shoes, who were actors, and again, all of this time, I'm on TV.
Yeah.
I'm on BT Plus. My likeness is being used on BT Plus every single day. And I'll put that Amazon uniform on for a reason, to just show other actors and performers, listen, we got to do what we got to do until we don't have to do that no more.
And I
You
think
know?
that's what people miss. You know,
Yeah,
yeah, we're out here. You know, like you said, we're radio personalities. We actors, singers, whatever your it is,
yeah,
right? And
yeah,
and people are assuming, but they don't know we have. I still work. I still work a job. I got two of them, three of them.
yeah,
You have to do something because sometimes one don't compensate, but yet
yeah,
they see you out there constantly, and I'm glad that you're hitting this to stop the assumption. Stop
yeah.
the
Because
assumption. Stop thinking, everybody is rich like that. 'Cause we're not. We're just trying to make extra streams of income to do what we do, and then we just look good doing it.
yeah,
Um,
Yeah, and Maurice just has the opportunity to have to work and look good doing it on TV, where everybody's under the assumption that everybody on TV is making bank. And unfortunately, that's not everybody's story.
right.
absolutely,
And and
absolutely.
and the thing is too, is like, but we have so many valleys and high points and different things, and we're in the process of it all, because we're all going somewhere. We'll experience the promise that God has set to us, you know and then there's some processing time, where there's some things that got to be moved out of the way. There's some people that have to be moved out of the way. you know there's some reaping that from the sowing. There's
Mhm.
some things that people, there are conversations that people have. And the crazy thing to me that makes me laugh that makes me laugh, y'all, is that people of faith act as though what they do or what they've whispered was never heard by God, or what was even conjured up in their hearts was
Absolutely.
never heard by God. And if a person can manipulate and could try to throw a block in an opportunity that could have been for you, or that could have been for you, or that could have been for me, that God didn't hear it. And
I
I'll be
think
like, huh?
at that particular point in time, when you're in your flesh, you're thinking, "Well, don't nobody know but me." But that's not the case.
I'm
So
telling you.
far from it.
And
It
the funny
is.
thing is, God makes stuff happen, and will leave them scratching their head. I mean,
Yeah.
literally, our
Listen,
testimony, right, MJ?
it makes me laugh because it's like while we were going through that whole thing, with the businesses, we got our businesses, and um I have I sell perfume oils and things like that, and I have a business called Mo Sense, right? Because everywhere I went, it was like people was like, "Wow, you smell good! Wow, you smell good! Wow, you smell good! Wow, 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 wow." So I'm like, okay, you know what? And I'm wearing Egyptian musk or something like that,
Hmm.
And so I was on tour. Thank you, Madea on the Run. And I was stacking up my little money, but every city that I went to that I now are my wholesalers, um, I went and I dropped money on it, and I would get boxes of oil coming to my house, different fragrances, and going and shaking the hands with the owners of the stores. And they know me when I call Mr. Maurice, and they sending me boxes, and and so I have this business that does, it was started off, making a couple of $1,000s a year to a nice amount now. And I still haven't like really, really put my foot in it and be like, yo, full fledged, the whole nine website, buy off the all that kind of stuff. I haven't. My website can send people to it, but people deal with me one on one. But the whole thing is that all of these things happen because you realize it's like it's more to you than just singing and being on stage. You have some boss mentality going on.
Hmm.
You know, you have leadership in you.
Yeah,
You have CEO in you. And, while people are using other people, I'm learning how to treat other people.
That's a word right there.
While people have to figure out how not to pay you, I'm figuring out how I can because I know what it is to be in that space where people are figuring out how not to pay me or to try to diminish your value.
right.
You know what I'm saying? Oh, I don't think he's worth that because so and so has 100,000 followers. Maurice only has 27,000.
Hmm. Hmm.
So if we put him on, you know, is he gonna sell all those tickets? Not looking at the fact that you've been in the business for 30 years and respect the fact that you have a decent resume. And I've
Absolutely.
heard someone told me, a professional told me that, the business ain't like that no more. It's about how many numbers you got.
And speaking of numbers, let's do this real quick. Meriwether Countywide Recreation presents Palmer William Jr.'s Get Your House in Order, brought to you by Kenyatta Bell, starring Lene Harris, Tony Hightower, Michelle Lamb, Latasha Carter, Don Mitchell, and the one and only Maurice Lauchner. Now, if you happen to be in the Georgia area, it's going down September 6th and 7th at the Meriwether County Recreational Center. That's in Woodbury, Georgia. Tickets are available on Eventbrite. So if you're anywhere within that vicinity, make sure you go check out Palmer Williams Jr., the Get Your House in Order with my brother, Maurice Lochner. So there you have it. That's the
Yeah,
first one.
yeah. We did that show in April, man. It was so funny. Y'all know Palmer Wayans, Floyd.
Look
Yes.
on the flyer. It looks funny.
Yo,
True. Palmer
Floyd.
Williams is hilarious. This dude is
Yes,
hilarious.
yes. That is my brother, and it's like he's so daggone funny. It's like we can't even get the rehearsal without him just going on with jokes and telling, and also giving acting tip and acting, some coaching moments, which is beautiful because if we should always be ready to learn,
Right.
apt to learn. We should always be apt to learn and to grow because we're forever growing in this business. But Palmer, we were out on tour doing the have and have nots for like 6 months. And that's when we became really, really close. And Tony Hightower, um, these brothers are just phenomenal. And the ladies that you just mentioned, Lene and Michelle, Nicole, all of them, I just met them in April, and they're just phenomenal. The show is very funny. Palmer Williams wrote it and directed it. He is hilarious. My role is hilarious. You know, I say some crazy, some funny stuff, but it's just like if you're in the area, and we actually those are the first dates, and then there are going to be more dates on the 27th, the 26th, 27th, and
Mm-hmm.
28th of September as well. I'll be going back to do 5 more shows, and
Okay.
so that's going to be a lot of fun. Working with Palm, it's always a lot of fun working with my brothers Palm and Tony because we've been on the road together so many times. But
There's that sounds like a play that we need to get to Miami.
I'm
Hmm.
telling you.
yeah, if y'all can get that to Miami, it's definitely, and Miami's a city for plays.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Listen, we gonna have to discuss that this week. It's
Yeah,
gonna be this week to see what we can do to actually bring that here. Um, because you're absolutely right. Miami is a city for play, and a
yeah,
lot of the larger players have come through and did excellent. Actually,
yeah, yep. So the other thing you was telling I did well, I think it was 2 episodes with on Ma's house with Patrice Lovely.
yes.
So she's waiting. I put a little clip up on Instagram about a week ago, but she's waiting for Tubi to give her the date that it will drop, and then as soon as I get it, I will post it all over the place. I'll let you guys know,
Please, please let us know.
because that was hilarious. I played her sidekick,
Oh Lord.
and
That's
my
great.
name was they called me Pork Chop,
Uh oh.
right?
Mm.
And so and
And then
so
the
what?
last thing, because I know it's a lot of people on here that want to know, Maurice. So I'm gonna just ask it. What was it like working with Tyler Perry? What was that
Um,
opportunity like?
it was a learning experience for me. The good the Let me give you the goods. The goods are all of the relationships that I have right now. All of the people. I mean, that's one thing. He knows how to put together some really good talent and some people who are humble, and we have great camaraderie, great relationships even now after we get off the stage. After we're still brother. We bond like that, like brothers and sisters. The traveling was great. The tours were really good. Um, and sometimes it could be a little nerve wracking because it was like in which we understand, but he required like perfection, like every single night. Like your vocals, you have to be on point every single night. The only the con with that is this: we're human beings and people can get sick,
Mm-hmm.
or people can be or could get hoarse,
Right.
and we have to sing through that. And one time I got sick because I was in the dressing room with another person who had the flu. So I got the flu and my voice was shot. I mean, done. It was in the half and a half knots. I barely made it through. And this is what um I went to hit a note and the note didn't come out at all. It did not come out.
What
And
was
I
that
was ready
like?
to, huh?
I said, what was that like?
It was horrible. I called home. I said to my wife, I said, yo, I can't do this. I can't do it. I said I'm just gonna have to give them back their money, but I can't do this DVD. And she was like, "Yes, you can." she
Give
said,
them back what?
"She said yes, you can." She said, and then my brother Tony Hightower came in my dressing room because I was really like torn up, y'all,
Mhm.
because I had just imagine having the flu, right? and not being able to sleep for a whole week because of your coughing.
Mm.
I was coughing for the whole week, so it was damaging my vocal cords every time. And the thing that saved me was we had a doctor who was with us, and he said, Maurice, he says, I'm gonna give you something to help you sleep tonight, because we had two recordings. We would always do two recordings, and they'll pick the best vocals, the best scenes, they'll edit,
Mhm.
And y'all, let me tell you something. I don't know what that doctor gave me, but I was walking around like Herman Munster, going to the bathroom in the middle of the night. I was like sleepwalking, y'all. I was like, yo. But the good thing was I got enough sleep for my vocal cords to rest.
Yes. Mhm.
And even though it was not, my best performance, I got through the song, you know, good, like good, not excellent, not great, but good. And I was bobbing and weaving the whole time. Everywhere I felt like my voice was weak, I was like, I go this way, I dip that way, and I hold a note. I ain't trying to do nothing special. And I got through the song. And it's it's very, very nerve wracking, because when you're nervous and you're using these muscles right here, those are the ones that are going to get contracted first. The
Right.
muscle that you're using. And I was like, I had to really like calm down, because I was like, I don't know what's going to come out because of what happened last night. But once I opened my mouth and started singing, I said, okay, I can do this. I can do this. But those were the cons. We had no understudies. I mean, yeah, we had no understudies. You were out there.
Wow.
That's it. No understudies.
That's added pressure, isn't it?
It's all the time. It's no understudy, right? Um, that was it was good. Everybody was nice. Everybody, like 99% of the people were nice. You know what I'm saying? Um, Working with Tyler Perry, don't put your faith in everything. Don't do it, because again, I've been on the scene where tours were canceled the day I was supposed to leave. That sucked. You know, you know, you couldn't wear certain kind of colognes around because people have allergies and stuff like this. You know, but all that stuff is like, that's minor stuff. But overall, it was a good experience. It helped me even with my acting even more. The repetition, 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 being able to, be different people and stuff like that. But it always seemed like I was always getting the role where the woman was treating me like a ham sandwich. They was cheating on me. They was carrying on. You know what I'm saying? Like I was some kind of chump. I was like, yo, what the heck, man? I was like, and then and Madea gets a job. They put the worst toupee on me. And it was just like they had me looking crazy. But I mean, again, it was a great experience. Um, if I got a call to come back again, it would have to really make sense for me, because I'm like I like somebody wanted to hire me to do something a couple of months ago, and I gave them my price, and they're pretty known, but I'm like I'm too old to want to just feel like I need to be with you or around you. I've been doing this too long for me to be happy to be where you are. And like, and if it's not gonna take care of my mortgage or take care of anything, and it's like you should be. Because I remember this is, I'm sorry, I know I'll be talking a lot, but
No, no, go
we,
ahead.
I remember one time we did we were hired to do some background singing for a big event, a prestigious event. This is Maya Angelou's 80th birthday when she was alive, right? And the person who coordinated this thing said they was hardly paying us anything, hardly paying us. It was insulting, if you ask me. It was insulting, but we ain't gonna get into that. But just know that if they hear it, I'm saying it. It was insulting. I could have stayed and drove the bus and made what they offered me. So anyway, not only me, all the other background singers, nobody got paid no real money. Anyway, I said It's like, yo, they said that we, the singers in the band, all of us should be happy to be amongst these type of people. I was like, huh? I said, no, that is terrible to say to grown people
Mm-hmm.
with families and children and husbands and wives and all. We should be happy to be. We're not. I'm not starstruck. What I
Right,
would be happy is that I can go away for a weekend from what you paid me. I could go out a nice dinner at night with my wife. I could go and do whatever I want to do or pay a bill that makes sense. Happy to be here. That's old. Like, I'm not happy to be with you and be broke or not be appreciated or not. You
yeah,
know what I'm saying? Nobody wants
right.
to. That's stupid. It's like, I'm like, yo, that's dumb. But you got people who think like that. Oh, they should just be happy to be amongst this. What?
But those are the people that are making money.
But
Those are
you
the
know
people
what?
that are making
Even
money.
still, it's like at some point, you know, I'm beyond that. I'm beyond that. I done so much and got so much experience. Like, what makes us any different besides that? You know what I'm saying? So I got to make it make sense.
Yeah.
But then
Yeah,
too, there's
it's like you kind of, it's like you kind of underdogging, should I say? If that
but there's the thing is that you have people like Maurice who know their worth, and then you have people who are extra hungry and green, and they're gonna take it because they
Mm.
feel as though, like Maurice said, oh, you should be happy to be around these people of this stature. That's how
Yeah.
some people think.
Yeah. And it's terrible because
yeah, I think it's yeah.
not at 56. I'm not happy to be
Yeah. It's like
there.
I think at some
Because
point
it's work.
you grow up, and especially after you have done so many things under your, have so many things under your belt, you have extensive, great resume. It's like, no, make this make sense. Like, who are you?
And
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
that's the
You
language
know,
that we.
and I think it's coming against what you're worth. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I'm trying to find the right word to be good with what I'm saying, but it's like, hey, who the heck you think you are?
Yeah. Pretty much. And
You
it's
know,
and it's crazy.
I thank God for the experience, yes, and the opportunity, but in the same token, I have to value me.
Yeah. Yeah. And this, and that's those are the things that I kind of, kind of just try not to think about, because there are people who have really, really expanded leaps and bounds and become very rich and wealthy and powerful, and to the point to where sometimes we forget the experiences that we had and what we came through to get to where we are, to where we forget those things and we treat people a certain way, because it's like
People will pimp you, yeah.
people will really do whatever they feel that they can do, and then whenever there's a rebuttal or someone saying, nah, I can't do that, then they feel insulted.
Yeah,
And that's, I'll be like, how you feeling insulted and you insult me?
because
Oh,
when you have a certain status and fame, you feel as though you should be able to
yes.
get away with a lot more than what the average person can get away with.
Yeah. And it sucks because, and that is that, I look at people who demand a certain thing. Like, we were given instructions to how to approach people in at the studio, right? As Mr. And, so I'm thinking like, wow, we got to say Mr. Am I not a Mr.? Is she not a Mrs.? So why do we have to address Mister that way and not this way? Why can't we all be addressed as Mister or
Because
Mrs.?
when you do it that way, it means more to the people up there
Like,
because they're not looking this way.
no, they looking
If they
that way.
make, yeah, exactly,
And
exactly.
so me, I've been taught to look that way, straight ahead. You know what I'm saying? And so of course when you get a real, I was about to say, I was about to use the N word.
All right, Maurice, we're live.
Huh?
I
I
say,
think
all right, Maurice, we're live.
Okay, I'm sorry.
we'll leave that one for David, right?
Huh?
Huh?
We'll leave that one for David.
Oh please, David, he gonna say it.
David,
David gonna say it without hesitation. But I mean,
listen,
that's a word. But that when you get a real one like me, who has been taught, look a man in his eyes when you shake his hand,
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
when you're doing business. You know, respect given, respect received. Speak up for yourself.
right.
Don't let people step on you. My grandfather used to tell me, use the saying, don't let people piss on your back and tell you it's raining.
Hmm.
Mm,
You know what I'm saying? And then his other phrase would be when you're doing something that doesn't make any sense or is stupid, he was like, you pissing against the wind. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yo, I I'm not into that type of stuff. If you want respect, I'm gonna give you respect. That's just because I was taught that. But don't demand it from me and then don't give it to me.
absolutely.
Cause then
Absolutely.
now you treat me like a punk. You trying to you trying to demasculate me, and it's like nah,
On it.
I can't. And that ain't me. But
Absolutely.
anyway,
So,
just good.
well, okay, so let's pause right here because MJ, let's just take it to 10, and then because I want you to read the other flyer because Maurice do have another uh, play that is coming up, and
Well,
then let's talk about the project, the Mary Did You Know, and anything else you have coming up as far as music wise, and letting everybody know where to get it from, how they can stay in contact with you. We'll get all of that at the end.
Okay.
all right. So let's go ahead and do the commercial now.
Mm-hmm.
Peg Productions presents none other than He's an Amazing God, my final chapter victorious, with an encore performance that is taking place October the 19th, 2024, and it's happening in North Carolina. Looks like Garner,
Yeah,
North Carolina.
Garner, North Carolina.
Yeah, so we have Maurice Lauchner, Harriet Burnett, Karen Gibbs, Lalea Pitters, Rhonda Pitters, Michaela Alston, Miss Katria, Letitia Amos, Rashim Shambry, Anthony Rice, Terrell Turner, Mr. JB, and it's being hosted by Big Ron. So the ticket prices are $35. You can get an early bird special up until what is that September the 1st, and it is once again happening October the 19th. Doors open at 2. The show takes place at 3. So if you're in the North Carolina area, go by, hang out with my brother, Maurice Lauchner.
Yeah, come and check us out, man. It's gonna be dope. I did this show in when was it? In May this year. So she's doing it again, and I play the Reverend. Yeah, I come and pull it
Got a
all
good role
together.
this time.
Yeah, I got a little role this time. Put on my little collar and come in there. What y'all doing in here? They start. No, but but yes, I mean, all opportunities are great. It's great for several reasons. It keeps you sharp. It keeps you developing and staying ready. It's like a lot of people are like, what should I do? How should I do this? Stay ready. Stay
That's
ready.
right.
So
If
That's
you
right.
stay ready, you don't have to get ready.
yeah, when people call you, stay ready. You don't want to
That's
be
it.
dumb.
Let's talk music real quick. Tell us about your musical endeavors.
Well, I'm actually looking at doing some remakes, and there's a hymn that I wanted to do. God, guide me, oh thy great Jehovah. Very, very, very dope. You ever heard that song?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh my god, so dope. But I'm putting a little twist on it. My boy, who I just celebrated his life last week. I don't know if y'all saw my post. Demetrius Griffin.
Yes.
Um, he was my homeboy, like a little brother to me, and he rearranged that. So we know God me, oh, that great Jehovah. So this one is like this: guide me, oh thou great Jehovah, pilgrim through this barren land. I am weak, but thou art mighty. Hold me with thou powerful hand.
Yeah.
Oh, bread of heaven. It's all of that.
All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Woo!
joint, that joint gonna be, ooh, it's gonna be fire, y'all.
The butterfly cell. Ooh, I love it. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm gonna do that here, record it right here in my house, back there in my little studio I got back there.
Okay.
And so Alexis and I, of course, we are gonna put
That
we're gonna
thing
put
need to
Mary.
stop.
Mary, did you? We're gonna do Mary. Did you know? We're gonna put it out again during the holiday season, and I really wish that we probably connect with some publicists that can actually kind of highlight what everybody watches, because I everybody, like someone just posted last night of them watching. They said, "We watch Medea's Christmas for this reason."
Mm-hmm.
So if we can get a publicist to like kind of just blow that, just pump it all, and just shoot that through everybody's eye gates and through their ears, we
Maurice, let's
probably could
meet.
do
Let's
some.
meet this week about this.
Yeah, we probably could do some live performances throughout the holidays at different places, different churches, Christmas cantatas. If people are willing to invest in that, and make a little tour out of it, because I mean we've been sitting on that for 10 years, and Tyler Perry posted it and it went viral twice in one day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ain't give us a dime.
Mm.
That's a topic for another day.
But YouTube pay you for that, right?
They do.
Yeah. Mm.
Oh, poor Alexis out here ain't just singing all over the daggone place and ain't getting a dime. Jesus.
Mm.
Mm. Mm.
Somebody
Mm.
should have told me about that. But anyway, I'm just joking.
Sound like we
But
gonna have to negotiate some contracts.
yeah, but
I'm telling you.
we're doing that, and I want to utilize my studio and really put out some good music for the up and coming year, and yeah, and doing some other ministry stuff too. Um, Trying to talk my wife into doing some daily recording, some daily devotionals with some nice music or some melodies behind it, and start posting that stuff every day, like on social media, and seeing that we can get people to like start really hearing her ministry and what she does. Man, she's like phenomenal.
Yeah, man, she is on fire, and that's what I was going to ask you, too, Maurice. Tell everybody because you all are pastors as well.
Yeah.
Many don't know, but you and your wife, you all have a ministry, and virtually it's doing well. I'm able to jump on at times, and
Hmm.
man, she be going in. She is
Yo,
awesome.
she is. Well, she's the head pastor, and she preaches, yo. And I mean, her delivery is so dope. And I just be like, I just sit there like, it's just like because it's all gospel. We don't get into politics in our ministry. We don't get into racial stuff and all of that.
Right.
It's all gospel. And The gospel is pretty. The gospel is what we need. The gospel is what changes hearts, changes lives, and all the other stuff that we hear. You know, some people like to talk about what Tyler Perry's doing, what Bishop Jakes is doing, what this one is saying, and what that one is saying, and why they dressing like this. Nobody. I don't want to come to church and hear 45 minutes of that.
Right.
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 You know what I'm saying? I want to come to church and hear the gospel. I want to come to church where the word that I'm going to get is going to make my life better. I don't
Absolutely.
know them people. I know me. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
I don't know them. You know what I mean? If that's what they're doing, so be it. God knows. But I don't want to hear about that. I want to
Right.
hear the gospel. I want to hear the good news. You know, we should be all every believer that's going to church that's hearing the gospel, the good news, we should be running out of there with a smile bigger than the Joker.
So with that being said, how can we keep up with you on social media so that we can follow all of this phenomenal stuff that's going to be taking place?
So everything is under my name, y'all. Everything. I have no tag names. I don't know, big chocolate, big sexy, nothing of that. Maurice Lauchner. That's it. Maurice Lauchner on Instagram. Maurice Lauchner on Facebook. Maurice Man Lauchner on Facebook is my follow like page. So what? And what's the other one? My website is www.mauricelauchner.com. All of that. I have no funny tag names.
So listen, everybody. So if you want to book
Oh,
Maurice, oh, go ahead, Maurice.
and if you want to hear free ministries, go to Alicia Lochner on ministries on YouTube. Alicia Lochner Ministries on YouTube.
All right, now you know you got to spell Alicia because we spell it 500 different
Okay,
ways.
Alicia.
Okay.
And my
Right
website
away,
will give
y'all. Alicia.
Alicia. My website will give you all of the connections to all of my businesses, fine tune vocal coaching if you're interested in being vocal coached by me, if you're interested in buying perfume oils. All of that is on my website. If you're interested in booking me, all of that is on my website. All of it is there for you. Don't be afraid of the prices. Just leave the message by faith. Believe God.
There you go.
There you go, y'all.
Won't he do it?
Want me to do it?
So if you want to connect, you want to book Maurice Lochner, please go to his website at www.mauricelochner.com. And it's Maurice Lochner across all social media platforms and Maurice Van Lochner for his fan page. So please follow him. Follow him. He's a great guy. If you're a playwright, a producer that is listening, listen, contact Maurice. Okay, contact one of us if we can get you connected or connected to Maurice. All right. So please, like he said, his pricing, everything is on his website. But look, still leave that message. Still leave that message.
And Maurice, before you go, I'll leave you with this. Rebecca said, "Thank you for your transparency. I wish you greater and heart's desires granted." So that's coming
Merci.
from one of our local poets here, and I want to tell them to look out for the Maurice Big Sexy Lochner Instagram coming soon.
Really? Oh my God!
uh, nah, I'm not
Them
doing
baby
that.
shout out, dude.
I'm
Shout
not
out.
doing that. Get,
Maurice, we're out of time. But any final words that you want to leave our listening audience
yes.
Viewers.
It's something that I say all the time, and I say to myself for
and
me.
viewers?
Live in God's promises for you. Don't live for it. Live in it.
Come
Live
on.
Mm,
for it. You may get exhausted. Live in it. You know what's about to happen.
Wow. And there it is.
there it is, family and friends. Listen, Maurice Lochner. Make sure you look him up. He will be in Georgia in September, and in North Carolina in October. So if you happen to be in any of those surrounding areas, make sure you get your tickets to go see my brother for sure. And you can always catch the conversations with us too. These two, them two, her, me, us. Yeah, we'll be right here. The Shenanigan
The
Crew,
shenanigans crew.
MJ, right here. Lady Des, you have any final thoughts, my sister?
I just want to tell everybody thank you, Maurice. We
You're
appreciate
welcome.
it. And listen, this week let's link up and see what your ideas are, and yeah, let's see what we can do.
Okay.
Most
Okay.
definitely. All
All
right.
right.
Hi, family and friends. Once again, thank you guys for checking us out, hanging out with us. Maurice Lauchner, we really appreciate you, bro. We appreciate your
Thank you, man.
transparency. And you know, we got nothing but love for you here. For all of
I
those
got you.
watching, conversations with them too. Catch us again next week, same time, same place, right here. Peace out.
Peace.